up, everybody? I'm Sal Kalani. This is Reggie Steele. And welcome to Spitballin. Spitballin.
I looked up that the guy he mentioned, Charles Farrar Brown, aka Artemus Ward.
Okay.
And here's the little interesting thing about him that we did. Here, you go ahead and introduce us, and then I'll tell.
Wait, no, you do the introduction.
Oh, right. I'm the one who does it. How long have we been doing this? Hey, everybody. I'm Sal Kalani, and this is Reggie Steele.
Welcome to Spitballin. Let's get it. Okay, so we're talking about OJ Patterson, last week's guest.
And he brought up
phenomenal,
Artemus
by the way.
Ward,
okay,
who we never heard of, and I never heard of him. You never?
Yeah, I hadn't either.
And he was, and I always thought Mark Twain is the first comedian who kind of really, he was famous, and he would start doing like tours in San Francisco and stuff. But this guy did start before him. He's born in Maine, and his name, he called him Artemus Ward, but his real name is Charles Farrar Brown.
Farrar?
Yeah, Farrar. Whatever.
Farrar Brown.
Farrar.
Okay.
So this name. Dude, okay, so he was, how old was he? 34, 54. He was 24. And this is very interesting. He began as a weekly contributor to a newspaper, Cleveland's own The Plain Dealer, which is still there.
Wow.
And he published the first under the Artemus Ward series, which achieved great popularity in both America and England.
Oh, nice.
So, yeah, he did that. And then he became an editor in 1860 for Vanity Fair. He had a humorous New York Weekly, and then it stopped in 1863, which is crazy. I mean, this is during the Civil War, but he was up in New York probably like, I ain't fighting. Y'all can fight.
Yeah, seriously.
Call me a coward. I've been a coward walking with two legs.
I'll be a coward walking with two legs. That's fine. You be brave with no legs, and I'll be a coward with two. Okay.
But he was a member of the New York Bohemian set, Henry Clapp, Walt Whitman. He came to San Francisco in 1863 to perform as Artemus Ward. Oh, this is crazy. This was another thing. He was the favorite author of U.S. President Abraham Lincoln.
Wow. Hold up. This guy is the favorite author of President
Lincoln in that time.
Of Lincoln. And Lincoln is known for his writing, right? His speeches.
Yeah.
Right. How is it that this guy, who the president of the United States admires, is not mentioned anywhere?
Yeah. Here's another crazier thing. The Emancipation Proclamation, you may have heard, before he presented that to Congress, Abraham Lincoln read from Artemus Ward's latest episode, Outrage in Utica. And that's insane. So he's quoting him before he's even about to drop the greatest.
Wow. And this dude slips through the cracks.
And insane. That's insane.
It's insane. But at least now we know we can give him his props.
So he
Artemus Ward.
And then OJ kind of said there's a school in Cleveland named after him, Artemus Ward Elementary on West 140th Street. That's right where my grandma's house was. I didn't know there was an Artemus Ward Elementary.
So he wasn't totally forgotten.
Yeah, well, only Clevelanders know him, but not me. I grew up there. My grandma lived on that street. I didn't know this guy. And then
but how many schools are named after people we have no idea who they are?
That's true. He met Mark Twain in Nevada. They became friends. Brown called him his dearest love. Okay. And in Cleveland, where his comedy career started. It's hilarious, man.
Wow.
But
so is it safe to say that Cleveland is the birthplace
of genius,
of stand-up comedy?
He died. Yeah, he was 32 when he died, man.
Jeez.
And he was in England, and he had tuberculosis. Like he really called him like. It looked like he was like in England trying to like. He was performing in England, so he wasn't as broken down, I think, as OJ made him sound. But he did get tuberculosis and died over there.
Jeez, TB was taking everybody out.
Whew. But so
TB,
yeah, there's
TB was the first COVID.
Yeah, back then.
Yeah, back then. All right. Well, that's cool. I'm glad you looked up Artemis.
Yeah.
I just want to recap real quick with OJ. I thought OJ, shout out to OJ Patterson for coming through. I thought OJ was a great guest, man. He was really insightful. And it was fun to hear about how the book came together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
it went through a lot, and it was also interesting because it's like a history book, so they were able to get funding that way.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's really cool that they included you and the Seabiscuit in it.
Yeah, that was super cool. I was so
yeah,
stoked.
super cool.
And,
so you
it's a cool little paragraph. It gives I really liked started out there on the edge of the world. These three guys, nobody showed up, and like that's really what it was. It was like a night when no one. We were doing the mic for like I was doing it for like a year, and it was just not. It was not. I mean, there was moments, there were times it was great, but then there were times when it got less popular. And then when the one night when no one was there, and we just started like ripping at each other, and it was so fun that I was like, we could turn this into something.
Nice, dude. Like I said before, the Seabiscuit was always one of my favorites as far as just fun to go hang out. It was small. You know what I mean? I
remember that's where you did your pigeons joke. And this is what I remember. You came in when a white dude you worked with said he had a black friend that he could drop the N-bomb to, and then he thought if he asked, he could say it to you. But the way he said it wasn't like that. Like he would just straight up said it to you. And you came to the Biscuit that night, and you went off. And it was a whole other Reg. And then,
yeah,
that's what I was like. And you've always told me, because I always give you a hard time, like Reg, you gotta let it out more, because I could let it out, I could rage on stage. But Reggie's like, yo, man, I'm a large African American man. Like if I do that, I'm gonna scare people. And then you did it at the Seabiscuit, and it's really small there, so you look even bigger. Right. Like the damn ceiling's on your shoulders. You're like, damn. But you did it, and but the funny wasn't there yet either. You just were just going on.
Oh yeah, I was just going in.
But I do remember like some people were like, everyone was kind of scared and just taking it back, and then that's so I was like, oh my bad, Red. Just go back to talking about pigeons.
Hey, dude, I had an incident probably about 3 weeks ago. I was at work, and I was in a hurry. I was walking fast, but I was working toward one of my coworkers that I've known for over 20 years now, right?
Damn.
I was walking toward this dude just hastily, right? And this guy looks at me, he goes, hey man, can you don't walk up on me like that, right? I was like, what are you talking about? He was like, I know you, but he's like, damn, that was a little intimidating.
I guess, yeah, that sucks because you're always big and you probably could forget about it a lot.
Exactly, because I exist in myself, right? It's not like I'm walking around looking like a giant. Doesn't feel big until people point him. If he's hanging around other giants, right? He's just a normal dude. It's not until he sees his reflection or he's hanging around other people who are like, damn, you big.
Right.
You know?
Like I forget. I mean, I'm kind of like taller and stuff, and I'll forget a lot of times. Like my girl was telling me, like, if I go into somewhere and just want something and demand it or something, or say ask for something, but I could come off like, oh.
Yeah. Well, let's be honest, you are already a little bit of
yeah. So that is. And then I could, I could bump into stuff and shit. A little clumsy at times. Tough for us bigger folk. That's all. But another thing is like, I have no, like, okay, let's walk down the street. Like, yo, man, a dark ass street. But for me, I would not think twice about it. You know what I mean? It's like, who's gonna come up?
I got the preconceived ideas that come along with seeing a large dark person, right?
Right.
Yeah. So I'm fighting against the thoughts in people's heads, right?
And what's crazy is always, it's like a lot of times, like you're growing up and stuff you deal with. And then as you get older, you learn and this and that. And you're like, okay, this is how you avoid that. But you with skin color, you got to deal with that always.
Always.
Like
but hold
people
up, though.
don't, yeah. That's
but
crazy.
Think about it though. Think about that. You have to deal with it always, but just like you as a kid or just a regular person, you're not thinking about that right? It's not until something happens that you go, oh, wait, so this is a thing, right?
Right.
Right.
I mean, I remember when I was a kid, like nobody told me anything, but you'd see stuff on TV, and I never had knew anyone friends with black people except a kid who was in my school when I was young. But I remember when I was really young, I thought like I didn't even know. I was like, oh, does it rub off onto people? Like because the way people talked, and then like the other thing, I remember my grandparents spoke Italian, and they were the older ones, and I thought when you get really old, you just start speaking like that.
Oh,
Like I
that's
had
funny.
no concept of
That's
different
funny.
languages. You didn't have no
Dude,
concept
that's
of race. But that's when you're really young, like
Yeah.
4. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? Those
yeah.
are my first memories of that.
That's funny because I've never thought about whether or not the pigment of somebody was, like, could it be changed? You know what I'm saying? Like, whether they
Right.
put that on, like, it's
What did
never
you
dawned
think?
on
Like
me.
when you first saw like your earliest memories of first seeing white people in Alabama? Or I mean, you had to know different race stuff.
Yeah, it never dawned on me. I mean, I started off with going to like really diverse schools early. Even, I mean, more diverse than what Alabama was providing at that time. My school was like they made a conscious effort to have a school
All
that
right, well,
was
let me ask
fully
you,
integrated.
before school, when you're just amongst family, I guess it was just you and your mom, but when you were just you at home, did you have what's your preconceived notion of white people?
I didn't have any. Honestly, I didn't have any. I mean, my mom and I, we went out. Like, even though I went to nursery
I mean, did you
school,
think white
preschool,
people thought they were better than you?
nope.
Damn.
I never thought anybody thought any. I wasn't. Hey man, as a kid, I
You
wasn't
had so
worried
you
about.
had no negative viewpoints on white people as a growing up.
Nope.
That's crazy.
Not as a little kid.
So you know what's funny? It's because like white people, I feel growing up, or at least where I grew up, there was always these preconceived notions of black people and all this fear. And it was like kind of like it was like that whole thing. Remember in Michael Moore's Bowling for Columbine, he's like all the slave owners, they got worried that all these people would rebel and hold all this anger. So they always had this fear towards black people, and black people were like, yo, we just want to live.
Yeah, straight up. That was it. Like, we're not worried about we weren't violent in that sense of like, yo, we're gonna come in and stab you in your sleep, right? It's 100 because there were some
Right, and
plantations
that's
where
always a fear that's still there.
yeah,
with white
right.
people.
It's 120 slaves, and it's like a family of 3 up the hill, right? But they were like, look, man, I'm just trying to live, right? Like it's too. And for me, I never had any negative opinion about white people at all. It wasn't until probably once I got into grade school and we started learning about history and the history of white people. But even then, I didn't look at white people today as those people. Because my perspective has always been, I'm not mad at your ancestors for what they did, right? I can't blame them. But now if you do something now, then I'll be mad at you now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't hold white people responsible for what other white people did. But if you're still trying to do dumb shit, then yes, I have an issue with it.
There's definitely, wow, that's pretty open. That's pretty open at that time. Like, because when I was young, there was still, because I didn't know anybody though, so you don't really know anybody. But like I do know there was a constant, there's a little fear put there with the people, black people, really, because it was always on the news. East side of Cleveland is very segregated. You'd always hear about these crimes. Then there'd be racist stuff you hear, and you're like, but then once I get older, and I even kind of in school, I knew it was kind of bullshit, but I didn't have any experience with the black community. And then once I started working with the black community, I was like, wow, people are people. People just bullshitting their whole time. Everyone's living out of fear. It's fucking so stupid. And then you see that, and it just makes you angry.
Yeah, it's so stupid. I mean, look, man, it's so stupid. Now, if something, I don't hold, I've met, let me just get my thoughts together. I knew a guy once, white dude, who got jumped on a bus by a bunch of black kids, right? Mm-hmm. And for a while after that, this dude was mad at black people, like had an issue with black people. And I was like, dude, why would you have an issue with black people? Why wouldn't you just have an issue with the kids that did the thing to you? Right? Because I haven't done anything to you. So why be mad at me? And but that's the whole problem, is that people look at other races as a monolithic society as one, right? if one person does something in that race, then they've all done
Right.
a thing.
Well, I
Be
mean,
it
I told
Latin,
you that
Asian, Middle Eastern,
happened to my
Black.
dad. I think I told you that. I don't know if I told you on this podcast, but that happened to my dad when he first moved to Cleveland, and he's an immigrant, so he's only a few years into the country, and he eventually, when he's early 20s, he like had a gas station, and these two black guys held him up. And
Oh,
supposedly, I don't know, the stories are also whatever, but supposedly they made him strip so down to like his underwear or something, and took his clothes so he couldn't run off and call somebody, or I don't know what, to go get help. But anyway, whatever it is, he got held up, and then there was always there was definitely a can't trust black people vibe after that.
right. That he had some feelings about it.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, he had some feelings.
But
about
you're
it.
right. It's sad, because just like it's sad that you could say one person happened to something's happened to you from one person, then you attribute it to all people.
You have one incident with one set of people, and then you indict the whole race of people. Right. And that's what people do.
Right.
I've never done that. I've always been like, look, man.
But how did you know not to do that is my question.
That's a good question. I don't know, man, because I had friends that were white and Latin and Asian as a kid. And so
that's the thing. I didn't have Asian, never.
Yeah. There's a couple kids in my elementary school, Matsutsumi and Hiromisu. Two Asian kids, and then my best friend in 5th grade was a kid named Aldo from Guatemala. And then I had black friends, and then I had white friends, Craig Sarabalo, Brian Gentry. Like, it was just, I had white friends. So for me, once you start to learn about people who did these mean and horrible things to other people, I never looked at it as like, white people are evil. I always looked at it like, those white people are evil, because I know white people right now who aren't like that.
That's cool. See, and that's the importance of having a diverse environment at a young age.
Right.
Because I didn't have that. It was all white. You know what I mean? And then one black kid. There's no Latin. There's no Asian. And then I do remember, though, when I worked at the ballpark, I also worked with a Guatemalan kid. And then I got to learn more about him and his culture. And we were really cool. And you just got to experience that, I guess.
You do. And, look, man, race is so prevalent in our society, man. Like, it's a topic of discussion, and it is a constant topic of discussion. I don't know if we'll ever get past race being at the base or foundation of everything that goes on, right?
Yeah.
On some level.
And this could lead us right into our first topic, Reg, because it goes perfectly with, I can say 2 words, and everyone quickly thinks I go free Britney. And everybody will think, the poor rich white girl whose dad had a conservatorship on her, still has freedom to do whatever you want. No, we're talking Brittany Griner right now, which we could have brought up 2 weeks ago, and we were busy with other stuff, and I didn't even think about it. But it's ridiculous that she's in a jail right now in Russia, in Moscow, for marijuana possession. And I guess they're saying smuggling drugs. Now I think she's there till at least the middle of May.
Wow.
And she's going to be there for a while.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and clarify who Brittany Griner is. Brittany Griner
just won. I was just watching her win a gold medal in the summer Olympics.
Yeah. So Brittany Griner is a WNBA player, a women's professional basketball player. She's about 6'8". Now, for those who don't know, our listeners, the WNBA plays in the summer, right? Their whole season is in the summertime. So that means that, and they don't get paid the same amount of money that the men get.
Right,
paid.
They don't pay dick, so they got to go overseas in the off season to make money.
So a lot of these women, they play here in the NBA, the WNBA in the summertime, and then in the off season they go to Europe to make their money, and they potentially make more money over there. I remember, what's her name? She went to Russia. Turiasi. Yeah, Turiasi. Yeah. There was one year where she didn't come back to play in the WNBA because she was like, look, in Russia, they're paying me $1.2 million. In the NBA, in the WNBA, I'm not getting anything close to that. She's like, so she missed an entire WNBA
season. Really? I didn't know that.
Yes, she missed the whole season because she was like, they're paying me real money. I gotta stay. So now we have a situation where we have this woman, Brittany Griner, who goes over to Russia. She's traveling. They find CBD, not CBD, but THC oil
Yeah, they
that she
find
can
marijuana
vape.
oil.
They find marijuana oil
They
that she
can
can
vape.
vape. And now she's locked in a Russian prison.
Now there's a lot of stories here. Now, I mean, Reg was like, "Oh,
Well, I was
bring
like, yo,
marijuana."
hey man, I'm just
Russia.
saying.
That's definitely.
Hey, all I'm
but-
saying is that look, I'm not saying that she should be locked up at all by any stretch. I'm just saying that if you're going to go into other people's countries in other parts of the world, you might want to know the rules. Okay.
Well, here's, and
I'm just saying.
I saw someone like, and then on Instagram, I saw someone, I hate when people do this. Oh, so privileged or elitist or entitled. That's what they said. How entitled, because you could just think you could bring marijuana into it. But I'm like, she's probably thinking it's marijuana. It's weed. Who gives a shit? It shouldn't fucking matter. She's a professional basketball player. It shouldn't even be illegal there. Okay. But you're right. It's another country. They're wackadoos. We see what they're fucking doing to Ukraine right now. You can't, you got to be careful there. But
you got to be careful.
Absurd what they're, they got her in jail for like 3 months.
Dude, there are some countries where if you spit on the sidewalk.
Oh yeah, they caned that kid in Singapore.
Yo, he spit gum out of his mouth in Singapore.
he graffitied is what he did.
Oh, I thought he spit the gum out.
No, he did some graffiti and got caught. But yeah, they caned him. Remember
they caned his ass, bro. That's a straight up bamboo. A bamboo stick.
I remember that was a thing. And they have one of the cleanest countries in the world.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now.
Ain't no gum on these sidewalks.
Yo, look, I don't tag, right? Like I'm not into graffiti like that. I don't spit on the sidewalk. I always spit in the grass if I have to spit. I don't smoke weed, right? So I am at low risk for like getting thrown in jail. But I'm gonna tell you right now, when I heard about that dude in Singapore as a kid, I was like, yeah, I'm good on Singapore, bro. like I'm a good kid. I'm not gonna get in trouble at all. But just the idea of not knowing what potential, like you could do something and not even know, right? Step out into the street to see if the bus is coming in, like, hey, no, that's Jay. Well, like I didn't know.
Yeah.
And now your ass getting beat in the street in front of everybody.
I do not do well with authority, and I cannot have people telling me what the hell. Just
I love my freedom way too much, man.
That is a crazy thing, though. How they go, hey man, if you hit someone really hard on the ass with this bamboo stick, they ain't gonna let her no more.
Hell no, that shit hurt like hell. Have you ever been paddled?
Well, my mom used to get the yardstick a lot. I want to get the yardstick.
The yardstick ain't nothing.
No, that ain't nothing.
I'm talking about a paddle that's like this thick, that's got holes in it that they use for
that's like
for hazing.
For
fraternity.
Huh? Right, is that what happened when you got to St. Mary's? Did you have to get spanked?
No, believe me, at St. Mary's when nobody's spanking that ass. Okay.
So how do you know about a paddle?
Man, I got paddled in 8th grade. My 8th.
From your mom?
No, by okay, so 8th grade, man, my classmates and teammates, we used to sneak out of class, right? We had an old teacher. Our teacher was Sister Mary Carlita, and whenever she would turn to write on the chalkboard, somebody would get up and sneak out of the class to go to the bathroom and then just hang out in the hallway, right? And then another person would get up and sneak out. So we were doing this on a regular basis. Well, she told one of the assistant coaches, Mr. Bowling, that's his last name, Bowling. He comes to the classroom one day, and this has been happening, not a whole lot, but like over a course of a week, maybe a couple of weeks, like just kind of happening here and there. Mr. Bowling came to the room and was like, I need all the boys on the basketball team to come with me. And she was like, okay, and they had already discussed it, right? As far as like, he was supposed to talk to us, but we were under the impression that he needed us because he worked maintenance at the school. So we were under the impression that he needed us to help him do something. Right. So it's like 5 or 6 of us get up. Actually, more than that. It might have been like 7, 8 of us get up to go walk out. Right, man. Do you know he took us right downstairs into like the supply closet, and we were like, "Oh, we're thinking we're about to be moving out chairs and tables to help set up something for some banquet or something later." Man, this dude was like, "So, Sister Mary Carlita has informed me that y'all like to sneak out of class," and we was like, it was almost like you know how in a drama when something happens and they when there's a twist, right? When there's a twist, like you think it's gonna be one thing, and then all of a sudden it twists and you hear that doom doom, right? Yeah. Right? That's what happened. We were standing there like, what are we doing, Mr. Bolin? And he was like, I understand you guys like to sneak out of class. Doom, doom. Like, oh shit just got real, right? He goes, you guys understand that your parents pay for this school? Because this is a private middle school where their parents, he's like, your parents pay for you to be here to get a good education. And y'all up here walking out of classroom and treating Sister Mary Carlita with disrespect. And you ain't, you're not, and you represent the school and the basketball team and all this kind of stuff. And he was like, so he's like, everybody gonna get 2 paddles today. Man, we was like, oh my God. Hey man, I swear to you, he pulled out this paddle. It had to be about this long, right? It had a handle on it and it was like this thick and it had holes in it. So when you swing it, there's no resistance. There's no wind resistance. The air go through that joint.
God
so
damn,
you get the full.
This paddle?
I don't know where he got it from. I just know that it was real and that he hit us with it. So we standing there. And once we know what the deal is, he's like, everybody gonna have to get, no, he didn't say 2. I think it might have been 1 or 2. Either way, he was like, who's going first? I was like, me.
You volunteer to go
I
first?
always, hey, when it comes to shit like that,
get it over with.
Straight up, right? Because if you sit there and you watch everybody get hit, right? And you see, it's like you just waiting for that anticipation. You anticipating that pain. But when you first out the gate, man, I was like, yo, everybody stood there. It was for a moment. I was like, I'll go first. And he was like, okay. Got up there, bent over.
Take your pants off?
Nah, that been too far.
My dad used to make my brother take his pants down, get the bare ass with the belt.
Do you know that jeans and belt, that stings even more? Jeans and belts sting even more, right? So, dude, I bent over and I was standing there just like waiting, just like, and then it just happened. I'm sitting there like, like, and I mean, I'm talking about, it's one of those things where you get hit and the moment it hits you, boom, it's like the nerves and the feel, it's just like it, and you can feel it go down your legs and up your back, and then it hits your brain and you're like, I was like, all right, I got my 1. I was like, all right. He was like, now go back to class. I swear to you, I was like, good luck, fellas. All right, good luck.
You didn't have to watch the other guys?
I had to watch. I ain't have to watch. I went back to class, man. I sat down and was like, yo.
That is funny.
I will not be sneaking out of class again. So
that made me think of my favorite. Oh.
When I got my tattoo, we got them all at the same time. Me, Mahershala, Mockley, and Lukman. And everybody was like, who gonna go first? I was like,
that's your, you guys do the same tattoos?
Yep.
Oh, you guys are all, that's cute.
Yeah, man. Same tattoo in the same place on the left arm. It's the only tattoo I got. It's my John.
Yeah, me too. Mine's on the right arm.
Okay, yeah. And mine's a little different from yours.
Mine's a little bigger.
Oh, yours a little bigger. Mine is from Africa. Yours is from Hollywood.
From my head.
It's from your head. Okay, go ahead.
It made me think of the scene, remember Bronx Tale, Robert De Niro's directorial debut, and they're in the bar, and all those motorcyclists come in and they start roughing up the bar, and the guy goes, what are you, he comes down there, he's like, what are you doing? He's like, all right, buy me each a drink, but then 1 drink and you're gone. They're like, yeah, no problem. And then they start throwing beer on the bartender, and then he goes and he locks the door, and they're all like, he's like, no, you can't leave.
I like that.
They beat the shit out of him.
Really? No, I mean, wait, Bronx Tale. Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, remember that? What's his name?
Yeah.
I forget the guy's name, but and he has them. He lock up the bar, and he's like, all those guys' every one of their faces changed, and they knew they just walked into the wrong bar that day.
Yeah.
And then all these Italians coming to the bar with bats and shit. They just started beating the hell out of them, knock their motorcycles down.
Hey, dude, that's what I'm saying. You got to know where you at and what you're doing before you try to get all pretty or fancy. But in regards to Brittany, man, I feel bad for her because she didn't know, obviously, and it's for us over here, it's not that big of a deal considering it's legal. But on the other hand, you got to know the laws of the places you go, right? Like,
especially that fucking country,
especially that place. You can't be in fucking Russia, really? I mean, every movie. Now, obviously, I've never experienced a Russian prison, but every movie that I've seen that includes a Russian prison is enough to make me say, you know what? Fuck that.
Right.
Okay. Right. Like that's not a chance I'm trying to take, but it is interesting too that she's not garnering that much interest. Like people aren't talking about any.
And it's like during a war. Now, does the war? I mean, that you think would bring more people about it, but I think a lot of people are like
no one's. They just figure like she's fine. People just think she'll be fine, right? They're not taking it that serious. But I will give credit to an NBA player last night after I think he played for Toronto. Post game interview, he goes, she asked him a couple questions, and then he said, "Well, before I go on, I got to say, Brittany Griner is still locked up in Russia, and no one's talking about it. So I need to, and she's like, please mention my name because no one's talking about me." So, so he mentioned her name, and then the commentator as well, or the person interviewing was like, "No, you're right. It's a shame that we're not talking about Brittany Griner." And then she was like, but in the second half, you had this, you know what I mean? So at least people are trying at least a little bit.
Right. And there's nothing that can really be done. It's like, you got to have dickhead Putin to let her go.
Right. Diana Taurasi, that's her name. Yo, but hold up though. Let me ask you this. Let me pose you this question. If it were a white woman, a blonde, blue-eyed white woman,
she wouldn't be in the WNBA.
Well, what about Della Don? She's like 6'5", 6'4", blonde, blue-eyed.
I mean, it's different though because it's a different country.
It's a different country, but dude, what I'm saying is that if it were a blonde, blue-eyed white woman that were locked up in prison in Russia versus a 6'8" biracial black woman with dreads, lesbian with dreads, it just who's would it be different? That's all I'm saying. Would the interest be different?
I think it'd be different in the fact that they probably wouldn't have even gone through her bag.
Okay, so she was. So you're not saying. So you're saying now that she wasn't randomly selected.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I mean, look, that's another thing too. You're that tall, you stand out. I'm sure there's not many 6'8" black women in Russia.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why they're having basketball players from other countries play there.
Dude, yeah, no, but dude, they went through her back. I mean, how did they even know what it was? How come?
Well, here's the thing. The story is that don't give them a reason to go through the bag. Now that's in America and in Russia, who knows? And like I've brought weed on planes before, but when you leave LAX, no one cares. And so when you land or whatever. Now, if I'm in another state, a red state, and I'm coming back, I generally won't bring it with me. You know what I mean? But the rule is if they're not looking for drugs in America, they're looking for weapons. And if you so I mean that's the thing. But I was bringing the last time I was flying, I forgot I had a jar of jam that was given as a gift. And you can't bring fucking jam. You can't bring jam, bro. Right. Yeah. And so they're like, no, and they're like, so that set it off. And then they had to go through my bag because they knew there was something there. And then I paid for it to be put on the plane because it's like, yo, man, this is fig jam, dude. I can't let you throw out my fig jam. It was a gift.
How did you pay for how did you pay for it to be? You checked a jar of jam?
No, I checked my whole bag.
Okay.
I had to go back out of security, check my bag in, and then go back up.
Damn, there must have been some hell of a jam, bro. Because you know how many things
I've had. Jam. And it was from it was from family. It was from a grandma. I'm not gonna throw out the grandma's jam.
Okay, I can dig it.
I mean?
Yeah, I can dig it.
I was pissed though. I was like, can't be fucking jam. Who the fuck blew up a plane with jam? Nobody.
Dude, I swear some of these rules sometimes I'm just like, are you just making this shit up as you go along?
It's like because they said like one guy one time tried to do his shoeless fucking Joe Jackson routine, and now none of us could fucking
nobody can wear shoes. Yeah,
exactly. It's so crazy, dude. It's so now we all got cold feet getting on a plane.
Well, I mean, not everybody, because I'm TSA pre-check.
Well, you let the government know everything about you. That's kind of scary.
No. They already know everything about you.
I know.
What did I tell them that they didn't already know? Okay, so
that's nice.
Yeah, and so that allows me to just get on walk up.
You have to pay extra for that? How's that work?
Nah, man, you don't have to pay any. I mean, you
just
pay
got to
one
give
time.
them your info,
dude. You pay one time. It's like, I don't know, $60, $100, maybe $100 or whatever it is to be TSA pre-check, and you're good for like 5 years. For 10 years or something like that. So all I do when I get up when I go to the airport, bro, there are two lines. There's the one that's really long, and then there's the one that's really short. Right? I get in the really short line. I don't have to take any tablets out, laptops. I don't have to take my shoes off. I don't have to take anything out of my pocket.
Maybe I got to get into that.
Dude, you got to get TSA pre-check, bro. I'm telling you,
especially
right
out of
now.
this shit airport. This is the worst airport in the country.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, being TSA pre-check is like, it's like flying pre-2001. Right?
Funny. That's funny.
Yeah, it is. It's like flying pre-2001 where you just walk up and just go through. Like,
that's cool.
And keep moving.
All right, I'll look into it. I got to get into that.
Yeah, get into that.
Especially if I travel more.
All right, so next on our agenda, we hit Brittany, and we have to talk about your squad.
Football's been crazy this week. It's been a crazy NFL week, man.
Hold up, though. Do we go football or do we go March Madness?
I don't know. Well, let's end on March Madness because then I can check the Buckeye score.
Okay.
Reggie got me recording during the only college, the Buckeyes. Well, the Akron Zips were in it yesterday. They
almost took out UCLA.
They almost took out UCLA.
They listen. I'm gonna tell you right now. They gave that game away.
Oh yeah, they had it. They had
the game.
Lead.
They gave the game away.
At the end. They choked at the end.
They didn't.
They went cold.
Well, Freeman, big man, had a silly fouled out the game. Sophomore.
Yeah, and then I remember that one guy that had a shot and he did like some stupid, crazy reverse. He's caught in the air. I was like, just pass it, bro. You're double covered, man.
Yeah, that was young. That was a sign of inexperience. But that was Akron's game to lose, and they lost it.
They lost. So
now
they had them.
My alma mater, St. Mary's.
They won, right?
Did they win? Dude, they
crushed who?
Excuse me, I'm trying to put this delicately. They beat the dog shit out of Indiana, right? Like the University of Indiana Hoosiers. They beat them 82-53, dog.
God damn.
Dude, they almost beat them by 30. Right? But now St. Mary's and UCLA match up to see who goes to the Sweet 16.
Ooh,
and St. Mary's beat UCLA earlier this year. Right? So
my bracket, did you fill out a bracket? My friend sent me one. That's the only reason I did it. And it got busted on the very first game of the day.
Oh, hold up.
When Michigan won, I took Colorado State.
Okay, how about this one? I saw a stat last night that said with Kentucky losing.
Yeah, that was a big one. Yeah.
All right, with Kentucky losing, people had submitted 17 million tournament brackets, right? To see who had the perfect bracket. It went from 17 million that were still active from 17 million to 732.
Wow.
You
7 million to 732.
No, not 17 million.
17 million.
17 million down to 732 that are still active.
Crazy.
732 people predicted that Kentucky would lose
in the first round. That's insane. That's even crazier.
And those were all the people who were who were alumni of the school that Kentucky was playing against. Right?
Yeah, it's true. That's all it was. There's only 700 graduates.
Exactly. So, okay, but hold on. That's March Madness. Let's go to Baker Mayfield and Cleveland.
So yeah, drama in Cleveland. The Browns look to try and pick up. They met with Deshaun Watson and offered a trade offer to the Texans, and that hurt Baker's feelings so much that now he wants a trade.
That hurt his feelings.
I don't know what his deal is. He's like, the bridge is burned now. I'm like, the fuck are you talking about, dude? Look, now then people are talking about other quarterbacks like Jimmy G and Marcus Mariota. I'm like, I don't want any of that garbage. It was like Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson, maybe Deshaun Watson. I didn't even think Deshaun Watson was worth it. First off, the NFL could still suspend him.
Yeah, he didn't play last season.
He didn't play at all. And now that they legally say they're not going to hold anything against them criminally, but they could still, because of his behavior, the NFL could still suspend him. They would have to give up like a couple number one picks for him. And really, what is it? His track record, he's okay, but like he's always been on shit teams. They haven't really done much. So it's kind of like hard for me to put trust in the guy. But I was like, hey, if they got him, cool. If not,
he's only been in the league for what, maybe 5 years?
A while now, yeah. But it's
5 or 6 years.
But he's been on a bad team. And now he's talking about going to the Saints or the Falcons. I'm like, those teams blow, bro. What are you thinking?
Well, hold up. Deshaun Watson, his whole thing was he got in trouble. Was it Me Too? Or he got
Well,
in
yeah, there
trouble?
was like a bunch of massage. I mean, bro, there was like 22 women who said he would expose himself and try and get him to play with his junk in the massage parlors and stuff. So yeah, but nothing was held criminally against him recently. So that's why. But yeah,
So
for a whole year,
indecent,
he was.
so basically indecent exposure and soliciting.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. So anyway,
Dude, that's hold on. Can we just talk about that just for a moment? Can we talk about that just for a moment? I mean, this is just like some insight into people's, everyone has their different desires, things they like and dislike. For this dude to legitimately to be a professional athlete, right? A quarterback in the NFL, are you really going to massage parlors and harassing these people? Yo, man, if I haven't said it once, I've said it a million times. Look, man, I don't care what you like, right? Like whatever you like. Everyone likes something different, right? Like what you like. But you're in a position where you can legitimately just pay for what you like. Like you can, you know what I'm saying? Like don't get in trouble and potentially lose your career because you have some unique taste. Just pay for what you like. Just go get it and then be like, yo, look, I like to get massages and then I want this to happen. And she'll go, okay, well, that's going to be $350. And you go, all right, cool. I get what I need. Right. And it's not like, no, it's a business transaction. No one's being harassed. No one's being put in a bad position because those people just showing up to work like, I just give massages. Yeah, that ain't what I do. This is uncomfortable. I need to tell somebody. Now your career's on the line. Dude. Yeah. Just
here's one from one of the women in the fall of 2019. She was told in advance like about an afternoon massage appointment. He said the client, he prefers to be covered with a towel instead of the standard sheets. So she got the largest towel she had, but then she wasn't prepared for the next 2.5 hour session with Deshaun Watson. It was unlike anything she's experienced with anyone she's ever treated. There's been 19 civil suits against him filed by women from 3 different states. And the sexual misconduct include exposing himself, purposely touching them with his penis, ejaculating on them, or in 2 of the complaints, forcing them to put their mouths on his penis. Watson has asserted he's never treated any woman with anything other than the utmost respect, blah, 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 blah. They're like completely false, but I'm like, 19 suits, bro. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, but then there's 19 suits and then there's no criminal. There's not one criminal.
You know what it is? They didn't have enough proof. It's your word against mine. Because think about it. What other place you're in a massage parlor? There's no one else in there. It's private.
There's no cameras.
Naked already. Yeah. I mean, it's
I ain't know he was doing all that.
Sickness. He had to keep doing that.
Yeah. I didn't know it was that bad.
And then how many people didn't even report it?
Right. Well, I'm sure that once the lawsuit came up and they heard it, then maybe some people just joined who didn't have an issue, and then others that did.
So anyway, but see, once again, don't get that fucking guy.
Yeah, really. Yeah, geez. But once again, I mean, I didn't know he was that bad, but yo, man, just go pay for that shit, bro. Like, just go.
Yeah, it's like or just find. Sheen used to say well, look what happened to him. So maybe that's not a good advice. But he's like, yeah, I pay. He's like, I don't pay for sex. I pay for them to leave.
Right. Or you pay for them to be quiet.
Yeah, right. Yeah. That's really what it is with prostitution a lot of times.
Yeah. But then he went and caught the HIV. So
yeah, right.
That's
right.
So
maybe that might be not the best route, Reg.
Well, no, because if he's got true professionals, like that's their job, supposed to be like going to get tested. But he was being reckless. That's not their fault. He was reckless, dude. He was supposed to strap it up, dude. You out there doing all that, you got to strap it up, bro. Right? So, but whatever, man. So Baker Mayfield wants to leave now because he got his feelings hurt because they offered.
I am stoked we got Amari Cooper. That was a good one. And we got him pretty good. Pretty cheap. They didn't have to trade anything. They let him go. Or no, we did trade like a couple picks, but later rounds. So yeah, I think Amari Cooper could still be something. And I still think they should draft a receiver in the first round. And the team was like, yeah, we're not trading you, Baker. We expect you to still be our quarterback.
Yep. So All right. Well, we'll see what happens.
I mean,
We'll
here's
see
the
how it
thing: there's
plays
no
out.
one else out there.
Yeah, that's true. Like, where's he gonna go, and who's gonna take him, right? And what are you
Right.
gonna
I
get
mean, the
in
Seahawks were
exchange?
saying they're interested because they don't have a quarterback now. I mean, we were just talking about before we came on about how Devontae Adams just went to the Raiders, and like, what's Aaron Rodgers going to do? And then part of it, it's like Aaron Rodgers, I think, is guaranteed $150 million. So maybe he's just like, I'm just going to fuck y'all out of a lot of money to end
Hey,
my
man.
career here.
Dude, for real, because I thought him signing was contingent on Devontae Adams being there.
Yeah, I'm surprised he split. But here's another thing, and I forgot about this.
No, but he got traded. He didn't leave.
He got traded, but
he got traded, so that's not his
part
call.
of the deal was like, I mean, they gave him 2 picks, a first rounder and a second rounder, and part of the deal was they were gonna sign him to a 5-year contract, which they did. Which was like
Raiders.
kind of similar to the contract the Packers said they offered him, but he wanted to leave. And now here's the thing: Aaron Rodgers is getting older. They haven't done shit, and they can't get over the hump in the Green Bay, the playoffs a lot. So then Devontae Adams used to play with Derek Carr in college.
Okay.
And they lit it up in college together. So
where they go to school at?
Fresno State or something.
Okay.
I think. I mean,
I've been there. I've played against Fresno State in college.
But yeah, so they played together out there. So and that makes a big difference because if you look at the Bengals, Jamar Chase, he played with Joe Burrow in college.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, education, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, what school? California State University of Fresno.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I've seen a couple of my friends online who are Raider fans are really excited about Devontae Adams joining the Raiders.
Yeah, totally. He's the best receiver in the NFL.
Yeah.
Probably.
So I've been seeing the Raiders.
And I see, yeah, we'll see. I see a lot of Niner fans aren't happy either. It's funny how those two hate each other so much up there.
I know. It's like, dude, they're right across the street from each other. Like literally.
They're not even the same conference.
No, not even. Not anymore because the Raiders are in Vegas.
All right, the Raiders aren't even there anymore. The Raiders are in Vegas, and the Niners aren't there either. They're in Santa Clara.
They're in Santa Clara, so it's not even San Francisco. All San Francisco has now is they got what used to be the Oakland Warriors, but they never. You know what's funny? When the Warriors were in Oakland, they never called them the Oakland Warriors. They just called them the Golden State Warriors, like the whole state Warriors. Like, yo, Oakland
doesn't deserve all that. No, the whole state.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So now it's the San Francisco Warriors. Like, that seems.
I mean, they don't call them that. They're still the Golden State.
No, I know. Okay. Just mess around.
That's right. San Francisco was in the USF was in the tourney.
Yeah, they lost in overtime to Murray State last night.
That's right. That was the only. I went to that college game with Reg one time. The only time I think I went to a college basketball game with you. We saw USF play against St. Mary's, I think, in San Francisco.
Yeah.
That was a long ago.
Yeah, St. Mary's. I mean, look, St. Mary's should be super confident going forward because they're one of 3 teams in the country to beat the number one overall seed in the NC2A is Gonzaga. So
I picked Gonzaga to win it all. Is that accurate? You think St. Mary's going to beat St. Mary's beat them already?
Yeah, St. Mary's beat them
just once though.
Just once in the regular season. So
did they win the tournament, the West tournament or whatever?
The West Coast Conference tournament?
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what it was. You ready? All right, this is what happened. St. Mary's went to Gonzaga up in Spokane, and Gonzaga beat them boys like drums. Okay.
During the tournament?
No, this is during the
first
conference
time.
regular conference season.
Okay.
Regular season conference game. And then Gonzaga played St. Mary's in Moraga at St. Mary's. And St. Mary's beat Gonzaga. They didn't beat them like drums. They just had a better game, right? They just beat them. So now they split in the conference. And then in the West Coast Conference Championship game, it was Gonzaga against St. Mary's. They won one, we won one.
Okay.
Right? So that's the third time. They beat St. Mary's like that man beat me in that broom closet when I was a kid.
So Gonzaga pretty strong.
It was like St. Mary's got hit. It was like right. So yes. So Gonzaga and Gonzaga lost to Duke in the early preseason by like 1 or 2, like late in the game, right? But I think it's a safe bet to say Gonzaga will probably win the whole thing. I think St. Mary's, if they're smart, if they play well, if they're confident, I think that they'll get past UCLA. They've already beat them once. Now, obviously, this is the NC2As and anything can happen. But if they stay the course, keep playing the way they've been playing, I think that they can make it to. I think they can make it to the
Elite Eight.
I think if they get past UCLA tomorrow, then they're in the Sweet 16. And I think they can squeeze out one more game. They can make it to the Elite Eight. I think.
Do they always play each other twice, Gonzaga and St. Mary's?
Yeah.
A year. So it's funny because my alma mater, it's way smaller. Cleveland State. So the only way really Cleveland State gets in is if they win their conference, which is the Horizon League. And they weren't in it. They got to the semifinals this year. They didn't get to the finals, but that's the only time they've gotten in. They've gotten in 3 times now. Okay. Yeah, the one time, the most recent, they got knocked out in the first round, but the first 2 times before that, they got to they won at least once. The one time was Norris Cole.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Norris Cole from Cleveland State.
Point guard.
Two-time NBA championship.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yep. 2 times. Same for the West Coast Conference, man. We had 3 teams in the tournament. And of those 3 teams, one was the number 1 overall seed for the whole tournament. St. Mary's was a 5 seed, which I think is the highest that we've ever been seeded. And then USF was a 10 seed. So that's
a lot of them made it.
Yeah, that says a lot about the conference and the competition and how well people are playing. So there's a lot of parity in college right now, man. Right? It's been happening for the last 15, 20 years almost, where it's like, young people are going to different schools. Like it's not always the same marquee. It's not always North Carolina, Kentucky, Duke,
right?
Connecticut, right? It's like now there's a lot more. Remember when Butler was,
I think
mid-major.
that was the one. I think they were the ones who were always winning the Horizon League. That's who Cleveland State would have to beat to get in.
Butler. Okay.
Yeah.
Mid-major. Butler was good for a while. And then Brad Stevens left and went to the NBA. And, Gordon Hayward obviously left and went to the NBA. Right. So, but yeah, man, I'm excited about these games, man. I mean, I'm not hardcore into it like I used to be, obviously, but it's still just fun. Right.
Right. No, it's I think, they're always so fun. And Ohio State won, dude, over Loyola Chicago.
Okay.
Ohio State beat them 54-41.
Gee, they beat them pretty good. Okay.
Yeah.
They only scored 41 points in the whole game. Damn.
Dude, it was a battle. I think the fucking
damn, that's a defensive standoff right there.
Yeah,
20 points in the first half.
At the half, it was like, what was the half? I think it was
25 to 20.
And not even. Let me look at it because I was watching. It was such a battle. Yeah, at half it was 23-18.
Oh my god. They didn't even score 2 points per minute. You get 20 minutes in the half,
Yeah, it was a rough start. There was so many turnovers. They didn't
even score 2 points every 2 minutes.
Yeah, they kept doubling everybody, and there was a lot of turnovers. It was
wow.
ugly.
All right, well, okay, so your Ohio State Buckeyes made it to the next round.
Yeah, they're in the 32. What's the 32 one? There isn't a name for that one, is there?
No, there's no 32. It started with the 64. You got the play-in game, then you got the 64, you got the 32. They don't start coming up with names until you get to the Sweet 16.
That's a good one.
Right.
And
then the Elite Eight,
and
then the Final Four, and then the championship game. So
there it is.
There it is. So, all right, man. Anything else before we get out of here?
No, I hope they free Britney. I hope
I hope she gets
they
out
don't
soon.
free Baker. No, I mean, Baker, what the fuck? But here's another thing. There was a tight end named David Njoku. He was on the Browns. The Browns signed another tight end, Austin Hooper, and Njoku said, all right, trade me. I want out. How dare you? All these fucking sensitive athletes. And then they're like, no, we're keeping you. We're playing you together. They played them together. And now they let Austin Hooper go, and now David Njoku is still our tight end. He's still on the team. You know what I mean? So it's just kind of like it could still work out.
Right.
Because what else are they gonna do, dude? I don't know what the fuck. Whatever. Maybe they should have never even went after Deshaun Watson. I'm surprised he didn't take Cleveland. They're the best team out there between the Falcons and the Saints, who are kind of like Falcons
you gotta
just
remember
lost Calvin Ridley. He was gambling on like barely gambled, but he gambled on a couple games that he
that's
wasn't playing.
right.
He was hurt. So now
Right.
he's out. So they don't
He's
even have a
out.
receiver. So why the fuck would you want to join a team? You got no one to throw to.
You know why? Because you could either hang out in Atlanta or New
Right.
Orleans.
Those massage parlors, no one will rat you out.
or Magic City, right? You go to Magic City.
You're right.
But-
Maybe that's
right?
it. Those are both, yeah.
Hey, dude,
southern
it's the same
cities.
problem that LeBron had when he was in Cleveland. Don't nobody want to go to Cleveland, dude.
Amari
got a
Cooper,
chance-
baby. Super Cooper.
If you got a chance to go to Atlanta, to ATL or New Orleans,
Yo, man, you about
It's
going
a
to the city.
no-brainer,
You
bro.
can go to those cities at any time. This is about winning right now. Get that ring, son.
and you know what? And when you ain't playing, it's about living. 'Cause it's like, where do I live right now? Right? I'm in Cleveland. Ugh.
Oh, I know.
So-
Something we got to talk about next week. I can't do Friday. We're gonna have to do it on Thursday because I'm gonna be at Cobb's.
Oh, you're gonna be up here in the city.
Yeah, I'm driving up doing two nights. Friday, 2 shows. Saturday, 2 shows with Jim Norton.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah,
I'll be out then. I will be out. I'll be out to see you. I haven't
Should I
seen
bring
Jim
some
Norton never
T-shirts
live.
to
so-
sell. Neither have I. I think I saw him once actually at Cobb's long ago.
Yeah, maybe I saw a little.
He's got
bit
some
of it.
pervy ass stories, so I don't.
Yeah,
I
no.
don't know what to expect.
Don't even worry about it. Just do your thing.
You think he'll let
Um,
me sell T-shirts?
I don't know. Are you gonna sell that T-shirt with that
Dude,
rat
that
cat?
did well. That did well. I'm almost out, but I don't want to make any more right now because I don't
Don't
have
make any
other
more of those. Make
shows.
something else.
No,
Make
dude,
something
those are
else.
great. Those did great. That was the only time I sold them, and they did great in San Francisco.
Really, that rat cat thing was like he's all
Hashtag
drunk.
meow too. Yeah, dude, that's Waffle Weinstein. He's half cat Waffle, and he's half cat, half Harvey Weinstein. It's like my tattoo. You know how I like to mix up genres, bro.
Yo, but that tattoo is amazing. With the picture of that cat, rat, whatever. it
Hey
is.
man, if motherfuckers buy it, I'll make it. And they ain't buying it. Don't you're like trying to complain about what people eat, Reg. Let them eat what they want to eat.
Okay,
They like it.
you're right.
People like the cats. Dude, I'm telling you, man, there were so many cat people that came out for the shirt. Like they're like, they buy the shirt and they're like, oh, let me tell you about my cats. I'm like, the hell? I was like,
Yeah,
okay.
you
But
got cats.
you know what? The cat people, they got money. So let's do it.
That's funny. That's funny. Okay, well, cat people.
I was surprised because, dude, I've been doing this for a long time. The SF Punchline, it was one of the hardest places to sell.
Mhm.
Even Cobb's, I felt was easier because first off, there's more people and it's more touristy, and they're the ones who tend to buy. Where SF's
Right.
like, oh, this is the hip little Punchline, but not in January, dude. They were cool as fuck, man. And now with
Okay.
Venmo, it makes it so much easier.
It makes it easier too. Yeah, it's
Yeah,
almost like
but,
it's not even money. Like you know, what
I
I mean?
remember though, like there's times like I remember I made a shirt and I remember this woman came up like one of my first shirts and I was like, hey, get this shirt the other day. Hey, it was cool. So I wouldn't wear that. But a lot,
It's
but
like
a lot
damn,
of
lady.
people like it's just something you sleep in.
Hold up. It's like damn, lady, just say no, thank you, right? Like,
Yeah, that's I was like, oh, I got to make the shirts a little cooler, I guess.
yeah, exactly.
But a lot of
But
this
still.
one, there's just a joke on the shirt, and if you want it, you want it. So
Yeah, but I mean, come on, man,
if
that's
you
not
don't,
that's not
you don't
right.
have
I
to
can't
tell
believe
me.
I wouldn't. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't wear that. Like,
Oh yeah, dude. It was like, damn.
Well,
I guess
obviously I
I can't
wasn't
try and
making it-
sell it to anybody.
yeah. Well, it's like obviously I wasn't making it for you. I'm making it
Yeah.
for this guy behind
I
me.
hate trying to sell shit too, man. You just gotta
Oh.
sit there and just, but whatever.
dude. I mean, you're good though. You have the host go up with the thing and say a thing.
Oh,
and then
yeah. I was like,
you
yo,
go
you
into your
handle
little
that,
spiel
dog.
at the end, and so I got the shirts, and this is how much they
Yeah,
are.
I'm trying to hustle, baby.
I
try to
can never
hustle.
do that. I never incorporate any of my sales into the show, except for I have the host maybe say something.
That's because you live in too civilized, man. You got to be out there. Once you realize, you're like, damn, dude, I need to make this shirt.
But I
money.
sold, but I did
Right.
sell. Like all the
What
shirts
did you
I
used
had.
to sell?
Remember, I had the shirts. I had the speak your piece shirts
You sold
Right.
them. Oh yeah. How did you sell them after shows or online?
after shows.
You
So
did?
I sold those after shows. I just set the table up, and I
Where
wouldn't
at?
say anything. I sold them at Roosters. I've sold them at the Punchline. I've sold them at
Roosters
Cobb's
is
and
hard. Where the hell you sell them in Roosters?
Roosters was what did
You
I
sell them
at
on the
Roosters?
podium right there.
No. It was like I set them by the table right there by the door on the left.
Yeah, I did that. Yeah, that's a good
Right.
spot.
right there.
The
and
improv though,
Sac.
you could sell a lot of that.
Improv. I sold a lot at the improv.
Yeah.
I would sell the
Yo,
t-shirt
man,
and the CDs.
I remember one time, I mean, dude, I know many of guys, they've made more money on the merch than on getting paid for the gig.
Wow, that's
There, I mean, it's rare, but that can happen. Like I remember I saw Mitch Hedberg in San Jose Improv, and I went with I brought Edwin Lee because he was a huge fan, and I had an opportunity, and so we sat right up front, free tickets, watched Mitch, and he was working with Brian Mallow because they knew each other in the SF scene.
Yeah.
And Mallow, he said, he's like, Mallow made more money selling shirts this weekend than the actual clubs paid.
Wow. I mean, that's huge though.
Yeah, man.
I mean,
he was, but that place holds like 500 people.
Yeah. It's 450. It's crazy.
Would be selling out at that time. So,
dude,
yeah.
How cool is that? We never talked about this. I didn't know you guys got to see Mitch Hedberg before he passed.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I guess I didn't appreciate it as much as I should have because I was not the biggest one-liner guy, man.
Yeah.
Like and it's that slow pace. But and then I remember he went off stage and he was just saying lines behind it. But yeah, it was I brought Edwin because I knew he was a big fan, and yeah, it was cool. And then he passed like 6 months later.
Oh,
man,
wow.
it's so crazy how many comedians die early and how many pictures I have with dead comics now. It's so weird.
Yeah, me too.
Such a weird
me
business.
too. I got a ton of those as well. I never got to see Mitch live, and I didn't really know Mitch when he was alive.
A lot of the guys do. Bartnick knew him well. Bartnick will be on my show this week when this drops, and yeah, he knew him. He wouldn't talk too much about that. You know, they don't talk too much about it. And like people knew, you know, Mitch and his drug or whatever, but he was, well, yeah, it was cool. And we heard what's his name on our podcast talking about his glasses, Chad Daniels.
Yeah, that was cool. For me, I didn't know Mitch as a comedian really until I became a comedian. Right. And then I started to hear about it and then his passing and what have you. But I got a chance to meet his parents and his wife.
Oh, wow.
Because they had a whole tribute for him in San Francisco of a film that he did, that he was in with Brian Mallow and a bunch of other guys that were in the SF comedy scene that they never released really. And so they had a screening of the movie in Sacramento and at Cobb's in San Francisco. So I went to that screening. I got to see the movie, and his parents came out from Minnesota. And so, and then I saw them there. And I want to say before the screening, okay, so there I saw the film, but then they did another thing at the Punchline, and I was on that show, right? I was on that show, performed, and then after the show, his parents, and I had just met them previously, his parents came up to me afterwards and they were like, oh, we really love you, whatever. And it was just very complimentary, but they were really nice. And I got the chance to ask them questions about Mitch and, what he was like as a kid. And, his mom was like, he was always deathly shy. And, he used to have his hair down in front of his face because he didn't want to see the audience. And, she's like, he was a really sweet kid. It was just kind of cool to have that moment of like hanging out with his parents.
What was the movie about? Remember?
It was almost like Clerks or something, right? Like it was, they all worked in some like convenience store or grocery store or something like that. And so everything happened like behind, like in the warehouse, like in the storage, where it's like this guy, I mean, I can't remember exactly what it was about, but it was funny. It was funny. It wasn't, it didn't get picked
raw.
up. It was just really raw, but it was,
right.
But you could tell it was just a bunch of young people who had camera and access and time, and they put a thing together. So it was fun it was fun to see Mitch too, right?
Yeah. No, yeah, he's definitely he had his own style. He was cool. I remember a lot of the college kids liked him when he hit the scene because he had that one special that just aired a lot. It was, and he just, and sometimes with that one-liner stuff, when you get those little clips, that just runs. People can repeat them easily. They're funny.
Dude, that's what TikTok is right now. Instagram, right. That's all it is right now.
That's all it is.
But this is the last thing I'll say this, and then we'll go. Who was it? Was his parents or his wife? I think it might have been his wife, but she was talking about at the time, and it could have just been a friend as well too. I can't remember, but there was a group of us talking, and they were talking about his manager at the time and Mitch and his use. I think it was heroin. It was one of those things where he needed help and he was spiraling, but he didn't want to stop working. and everyone kind of blamed his manager because his manager kept booking gigs for him. And so I remember hearing that there was some resentment, or there was some, like, people felt some type of way about the manager because they felt like he knew what was going on with Mitch, and that Mitch was using heavily and was out of it a lot of times. But instead of pulling back on his scheduling, like he like ramped it up, or he kept it going. Right. And so they were like, and that kept Mitch in a cycle of like,
they say like something like Belushi and a lot of guys. They say that now. I mean, they used to say that. I don't know how he's still out there hustling. So,
yeah.
But I guess I could edit that part.
Yeah, you might want to throw out you might not want to throw out the still high performing with his dealer. He got his dealer opening for him.
Oh, dude. I remember I walked up in the green room one time working with that guy, and I walk in and I was like, hey, and there's like strippers and then this other guy, and I'm like, well, who's this other guy? He was kind of weird. And then we found out later that's his drug dealer. That's
the little black dude, right?
No, he's white. He's
a white guy. Oh yeah, because this is cocaine. Yeah, if someone's dealing cocaine, it's a white dude, right? Black dudes deal other shit. The picture that I have, because I work with, I think he might have been high in that picture, because we're standing there and he's like,
yeah, dude, he's a fuck up. And I remember like someone came up to him, and was like, hey man, you did that. And he's like, oh, I got some on my nose. He's like, no, do you want to do some out there? And I was like,
dude.
All right, so we gotta wrap this up differently.
Okay. Yeah. All right. But this is the kind of stuff that people want to like to hear, right? But we don't want to put the guy out there.
I won't put his name on. Oh yeah, I'll just bleep out. I won't have the name on there.
Yeah, because when if you take the name out, then we could just say, yeah, when I work with him, that picture that I have, I'm like, I think he might have been coked up then, right? And I do remember during his show, there were moments, and then he had I won't go into that, but yeah, so yeah, there are guys that are still out there that are heavy users that probably need to be.
And the road can kill you, man. The road can kill you, and it has many a comic.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, close this out, Reg.
Okay. All right, folks. This concludes another episode of Spitballin'. We have a wonderful time doing it.
By the way, last week we had our highest.
Every week.
Our highest.
Hold on. Every week you say, close it out, Reg. And then I start talking and you go, and then.
This is good news, though. This is an important announcement. Our audience must know. Because you want me to reference them more, not just you. So the story is our last video about my father and you and OJ and the old lady. He that hit the most views on Instagram, 3,000 views. Not bad for us for a change.
Nice.
And my favorite part is all three of us laughing so hard at the end when he was talking about inaccurate. It was a good.
That was great.
A good giggle.
It was a good giggle for sure. All right, well,
mouth is shut. Close this out.
Okay, so now this concludes another episode of Spitballin'. We enjoy doing it. We hope that you enjoy listening and watching. If you do, please share with your friends. Please pass it on. We hope you enjoyed today's episode. That's Sal Kalani. I'm Reggie Steele, and this is Spitballin'.
Boom.
Peace.